was right there. Called the cops on me. I left my house to go to get my kids some donuts. Walked back here in the woods. I waved to the cop when I was at the donut place getting donuts. Didn't know that he had called the cops until I went back and looked at the video cameras and saw him on the motion activated stuff. Picking up the phone. Hey, maybe he wasn't calling the cops, but I'm pretty sure he was calling the cops. Picked up the phone as soon as I left, called whoever he called. A cop drove past me at the donut place, and then I came home and they were driving down our street. I drove up on the cop. The cop didn't do anything. This dude is a whack job. And she cleans up nicely. Did the grill install last week. Made me realize how awful these headlights look. This one's actually pretty good because my grandpa got in a wreck. Never fixed that up. The only thing that he fixed was the headlight because he had to legally do it to be able to pass inspection. So we've got new headlights coming. They're coming from CP Addict. I actually ordered the lights on Saturday. They sent me an email on Monday, first business day after getting the email, and said that they were waiting on some shipments from a supplier or something. So they are not sure when I'm going to get the lights. I emailed them and asked them if they had any sort of an update, and I'm waiting to hear back. So I'm, coronavirus, it's nothing that they can control. But look at this truck. I just keep getting distracted by it, just looking at her. And look at this. Does this not say I do work? Does this not say I have some scars? More scars, y'all. And as I'm recording this right now, you remember that this grill, they're shipping me a new one because it slopes down over there. Now I'm looking at it. Look at the top right here and the top right there. That reveal before was straight. The hood is perfectly straight going across. This grill is a cheap hunk of junk apparently. We'll see what the replacement's like from LMC, but this one is definitely not acceptable. The replacement grill has arrived. So this company, Pro Fortune, is the one that made the original grill that was all warped, cattywampus. Just got the replacement, and it's from a company, it's still LMC, but this one is from a company called Tong Yang. Unfortunately, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, if you can see that. It's just, am I being too picky? But I think I'm gonna call him and ask him to send a new one. So you can see the finish out where the gray meets the chrome there versus on this yin yang one. I mean, look at that. It just does not look like it was done well. Am I being too picky? I will probably never ever change this grill on the truck, so I feel like I need to send this one back. Okay, we got the first LMC grill right there taken off. Got the new one put on. We've got some issues. This new grill, you can see the line doesn't match up with right there at all. But what this made me realize is the gap right here is way bigger than it is right there. Look at that. I mean, look at how obvious. And that, I didn't notice it before with the old grill on there, but now that I've seen it next to that one that has a nice clean line right there, I want one that sits up tighter like that. So I called them. A lady named Connie was excellent on the phone at LMC. She was very good in taking notes. I didn't have to repeat anything. But so they're gonna ship me, well, after 24 to 48 hours, if they need to contact me, they're gonna call. And I just make sure that we get a grill and the bezels so that the body line right there for sure matches up. But one other issue with this one is on that first one, remember we had the sloping problems. Well, this one does it too. And this one actually, if you get up close and look at this little alignment tab, you can see, and I've tried to pull it down and everything, but I think it's just mismanufactured again. So you see the play that we have in it. Trying to pull it down, which makes it stick out that much. I'm not gonna swap the grill out or anything yet. I'm not gonna put the emblem on it. We'll see what they say at LMC. Customer service has been great, but the actual product has not been so good. We'll see what the third one brings. I also should be receiving today the CP new headlights, and I ended up going with they look like stock, but they're LED. CP Addict had a little delay. They were waiting on a shipment of their firewire to come in, and then so they were just a couple days behind, but no big deal. They were very nice and proactive in reaching out, so I appreciate that, CP Addict. If you watched in the last video where I replaced all this stuff, remember when I was putting these in, I had always wondered why this stuff was all boogered up and just like, how come they couldn't align it? Well, it's because this stuff is all the tabs and adjustments and everything on the back are pretty much all broken off, and I'm guessing that this had something to do with it. So I'm excited to have the new headlights and be able to adjust them and, you know, clean that up, make it look good. But and just look at that. Look at how much that stands out. What in God's name? How did I not even notice that before? I walked down my driveway with my handgun in my hand, holstered it before we even got on the street. The neighbor started yelling something at us. We couldn't understand what he was saying, but now we got 2 cops over here. Y'all, it gets better by the minute. The city cops, I'm in the city limits, the city cops tell this guy every time I'm not doing anything wrong, so they don't do anything. So just now when that cop was talking to me out on the street, over the radio we heard dispatch say that the caller was requesting to have the sheriff's department sent out. So the sheriff's department's now over there because the city police won't do anything because I'm not doing anything wrong. This is just unbelievable. So the sheriff's over there. We'll see what develops. The guy said that I pulled a gun on him. I have video from 4 different angles of that particular area of my house that clearly shows that I had the gun in my hand, pointed directly down at the ground the entire way from the time that I walked out my carport all the way to the end of the driveway. I holstered it, nothing happened. So this guy says that I pulled a gun on him just to get the cops to come over, tried to do something. We went on a family walk, did a whole little circle, took probably 20 minutes. The cops are like, hey, you know, we need your information. He says you pulled a gun on him. I showed him the video right then and there. The cops are laughing at this guy, at how ridiculous it is. So nothing happened. I have my concealed handgun license. I'm a law-abiding citizen. It's almost comical at this point. I mean, I feel like I could go outside and blow my driveway off and I would probably get the cops called on me. Actually, is it experiment time? Are we gonna do some experimenting? Literally everything I do, this little turd calls the cops on me. The whole reason I even carry a gun all the time anymore, I've had my concealed handgun license for, like maybe almost 15 years now. I got it when I was, I think right when I turned 21. But the only reason I even carry it all the time now is because this renter next door has threatened physical violence against me. The reason I even carry a handgun anymore is because this renter next door has threatened physical violence against me. The only reason I even carry my gun with me all the time now is because this renter next door has threatened physical violence against me so many times. I've told the cops, if he steps foot on my property, I will take it as a threat against my life and I'm gonna shoot him. It is unbelievable how often he calls the cops on me and lies to them time after time. Lies, says that I'm burning trash in my smoker. Lies, says that I'm, speeding. Lies, says that I'm pulling gun. Lies,